actually, I get here 9 years ago, and there are 2 men in the congregation who are leaders in the congregation, and I go out to lunch with them about 6 months in, and they say, "Hey, Pastor, we've been thinking about this thing. We've been thinking about incorporating housing into our model and redesigning and redeveloping the church." And I'm like, well, obviously, we got to go talk to our council member. So we found out when your office hours were. This was probably 6 years ago at least. Lee Kramer and I went and met with Councilmember Herbold and just said, "Hey, we're thinking this thing. What do you think?" And she says, "Sounds great. I'll throw you some partners you could talk to." And then time goes by and we don't roll on it and all kinds of other things. And then 4 years ago, you're actually here, right?
Yeah. It was, I think October 9th, evening community meeting. And there was a design and a proposal at the time. And the congregation was getting some feelers from the community about how they thought about the proposal. And yeah, it was a great opportunity to actually see steps forward in the vision. And as I was saying, I think the thing that I've learned in my time working for City Hall is that when you have a small group of committed folks working towards an objective, they can get things done. And the flexibility of the vision, I think, also helped a lot. And I was just really pleased to be able to do the thing I like to do most, which is to connect people.
That's
right. When one of the things 26 years at City Hall has given me is contacts and relationships with a lot of people, and I've been putting them together. It's just like, this is work.
That's right. Because we had been talking to a number of other kind of bigger, affordable housing developers that do big box developments and trying to find out what was going to work in our space, and that just wasn't working out, and they weren't vibing with the kind of project that we wanted to do. So we reached out to Councilmember Herbold again, and she actually got a meeting online, and that's where we were introduced to Homestead, and it was just like, oh, this model is where it's at. And so we've just been running from there, trying to find different ways to partner and get ourselves organized so that we were ready, because really, this church did not have the people infrastructure to make this happen until the Lord doth bless us with this. You got to come up here, bro.
Yeah.
Mike Perino had joined the church a few years ago and has been so instrumental in helping us think and imagine how could we do something like this that was reasonable, sustainable, and connected in the community. He actually lives literally across the street, and so has been very invested in making sure that we do something that is consistent not only with our values as a church, but our values as a neighborhood church. So we thank you so much for really laying the groundwork for making these relationships grow and flourish.
And we're so grateful. Some of you may not know this. I don't think it weighed into it, but Councilmember Herbold was on our board back in the day, so she knows the community land trust model, knows our values. So I think she had a suspicion that we would be a good match for this congregation and a good match for this neighborhood in terms of our values and our desire to create diversity, the desire to honor the land and the original people of the land, and to steward the homes and homeowners with earth care, with our environmental standards and everything else. So we're deeply grateful. We look forward to having you back when we break ground.
Yes.
And when we do the ribbon cutting ultimately in 2027. So.
And to be clear, my presence on the board was back in the mid-90s.
Yeah,
so
there's no conflict with this project. No conflict of interest.
Closer to home, right? I mean, if you looked at any neighborhood that you did the most work in,
It's West Seattle.
Well, and not just West Seattle, but the Delridge,
Yes.
Southern Delridge,
Delridge,
which,
yeah.
I'm in Highland Park, and I'm like, everybody loves what you've done there.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah, so there is a cake with council member's name on it in the treat area, so we invite you to get a piece of that. And again, our thanks, and we hope to continue to have you involved in this project throughout, regardless of the fact that you're leaving City Hall.
That's right.
Yes, and we wish you well in your next endeavor.
I will always be a strong, affordable housing advocate, no matter what I do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.